Hello, Girish. Thank you for joining
Yeah.
us today. My name is Ashik and I'm student of project management. I'm here with my friend Skanda, who is also taking the same course. We are conducting this interview as a part of experiential learning, where we have to interview a project manager and learn from their experience and insights.
Okay. Sure. Thank you for interviewing me. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you, Girish. We really appreciate your time and cooperation. Before we start, can you please just tell us about yourself?
Yeah. I myself have done a post graduation MCA master in computer applications. Completed my MCA in around 2003. Then I have worked in a started as a developer in a software company. Then I worked in like Wipro and around 12 years in Infosys. So now I have joined another multinational company. So I have around 20 years of experience in the overall IT industry.
That's
That's
very
the very
impressive.
summary of it. Yeah.
That's very impressive, Girish. You have a lot of experience and qualifications in project management as well. Can you please just tell us how you got interested in this field and what motivated you to pursue it as your career?
Yeah, I mean, actually, I've started as a developer, as I have already told. So, as I am a developer and then I have moved into a team lead role. So, wherein this interesting interest on the project management has started, because as a team leader, I was handling a team of around 10 people. So, I have to manage few things. So then there is an interest. Then I interested on the project management and started learning on the project management. Project management as a whole, right? So if you see on anything, right,
Yeah,
you never day-to-day life also. If you want to do an event for your own maybe marriage or any other functions, right? You will have to
yeah.
manage a lot of things. You have to track the things and you have to make the things happen. It's kind of you as a project manager. You will be to a central point where everything is spinning around you and you'll be able to make the progress and you'll have to practice. So it's an interesting field, you can say. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. And my friend Skanda will continue from now.
That's
Yeah.
very
Okay.
interesting and inspiring. Now, we would like to ask you some questions about your project management practices and processes. So, we have prepared some
Okay.
questions based on the topics that we have learned in our course. So, we hope you don't
Okay.
mind answering them. So, our first question is, how do you create a project charter? What are the key elements and benefits of project charter?
Okay. So yeah, before coming to the project charter, so as a project, we will have different stages. Like a project initiation is a first step. Then we'll have a project planning. Then comes the project execution. Then comes the project. The fourth step is the project monitoring and control. And last is the project closure. So if I just to repeat, project initiation is the first step. Then project planning comes, and then the project execution, then project monitoring and control, and the project closure. Okay. So in the project initiation stage, right? So normally, how the project start? There will be a business case, maybe. Okay. There is something. There is a business case which has to be implemented. Or the company will go into a new venture, or they will have acquired the new company. There is some business case to do it. Okay, that business case will come. Then the IT team. So we'll going to do the feasibility of the project. So how we can do that? Is that technically what is the way of doing it? So once we see that okay, the feasibility we can feasible to do the project, then we'll create a project charter. Project charter is kind of an executive summary of the project. So it will say what is a project and what is a business case and what is the different you can say what is the project management organization we are planning to execute this project. Okay? Then we'll have an whole summary of how we will just explain them in a summary. Okay, so this is a project and how we can implement it and what are the different people are going to interact and what are the different communication plan we have and what is the project schedules and all will give a high level idea of in that particular document.
So
That is in brief of project charter. Yeah. So you can refer the templates and all lot of templates available in the internet also. How actually what are different sections in the project charter. Yeah.
thank you for your clear explanation about how the project initiates and till the closure, and also you gave a proper explanation on how you create your project charter and all. So now I would like to ask about how do you define the scope of project and the tools and techniques you use to collect the document and project requirements and scope.
Okay. Now I think you guys may be knowing there are different project what is methodologies like project management methodologies. So earlier you haven't right there is a earlier there's a traditional way of doing the project, that waterfall model where we plan all the one by one steps like requirement design and all those things. Okay, so if you come there is a different way involved in different. If you ask me in the waterfall way of the project, then we will have to do the requirement analysis at the beginning of the project itself. So we will get the requirements from the customer client, saying that they will normally give a business case. So this is what I needed. Then we'll have to probe them and we'll have to get them into what all they require. So then they will provide us some documents called proposal document. They will give a documentation. In that they will now give what is they are looking. Okay. So from then it will start of the scoping of the project. Then we'll have to break down that particular requirement into smaller requirements, and then we'll have to provide a solution for it. That is in a waterfall way of doing. But if you come to the agile way of doing, it is completely different. Okay, in the agile way, the scope is you might be knowing, right? Scope, time, and budget. Okay, in waterfall, scope is fixed. Okay, so then budget and timeline will be derived. But if in case of you come to agile, then scope is not fixed. The budget is fixed. Budget is fixed. From the budget, you will have to decide what scope you can implement in that particular budget and time. So that is how it's a different way of doing it. Okay, so scope differs. In agile, the scope is changing, but in case of the waterfall, the scope will be at least defined at the beginning of the project.
That's very useful and practical explanation of project scope definition and documentation. So our next question is, how do you schedule the project activities? What are the steps, methods you follow to create a work breakdown structure, a diagram, and a Gantt chart? So,
Okay, okay, I mean again so
yeah,
now
would you,
if you really wanted to an industry point of view, if I have to talk, so we are mostly all the projects. Okay, all the projects are running in agile fashion. So all are in agile. So we are not using traditional way of waterfall or traditional way of project management. So now if it is if in agile I say, then you might heard of all these tools like Jira, Azure
yeah,
DevOps, and all those things. So where actually the requirement step, so requirement will be broken into epics. Okay, so epics then will if it is a big whole project is an epic, so that will be broken down into different features. For example, a banking project comes, so that will have a lot of things, right? Billing, payment, savings bank account, current account, and all those each of them will go as a features. Okay, in each of the feature, for example, if you take a personal banking, so then in personal banking you will have, if you consider personal banking as a feature, then you will have all the stories written under it. We say stories in the agile terminology. So what is a story means? So for a personal banking, the user logging into the application, that is one story. Okay,
yeah,
so similarly all the functional things are broken down into smaller stories. Once the stories is broken down into stories, so in agile, so we will have something called program increment planning, PI planning. Okay? So wherein the team, that will be a kind of a 2 days workshop. Okay, so wherein the team will come and all the product owners will be there, and business people will be there, and the architecture team will be there, and the development teams also will be there. So all together, so they will take each of the features and they will plan. Okay, and high level they will plan. Okay, I can in this quarter I can plan size. They will initially they will size this particular feature based on the size and capacity. They will say that okay, in this particular quarter I can do some 2 3 features. So that is the high level first level planning. So once that planning happens, that will again be features created in Jira and all those things happens. Once that is happened, then they will implement that project in a way of, for example, they might go for a sprint. Okay, so if in Scrum, in Agile, you have different methodologies, Scrum, Kanban, and all, but they will go for a Scrum, for example. Okay, then there is a sprint planning continues where the detailed planning will happen for each of the sprints. So that's how normally in Agile way of working the project planning works.
That's very informative and clear explanation of project scheduling process and method. So our next question is, how do you estimate the cost of project? What are the other factors, methods you consider to determine the project budget and control the cost? So in Agile, you told it is a fixed budget. So how do you allocate different, like how do you allocate for different things?
And also, we want to know how do you manage the risks of the project?
Okay. Okay, let me project budget, right? First question is about project budget. So
Yeah.
project budget, okay. So now budgeting will be, it will be based on different things involved in budgeting. For example, if you need a servers, you might need a software licenses. Okay, then those are kind of fixed costs. Okay, then we need a resources. Resources are the separate. So we will have different costing element which we will include into the project. So normally we will have in all them. If you are into the enterprises, they will have all their own applications. Okay, where you will have to put all these elements which are like software licenses or your servers or your resources, all those things. Then there will be a cost attached to each of them. Then the cost will be calculated accordingly. So that is about the cost. Then coming to the risk, right? Yeah.
Risk
So
management. Yeah.
yeah, management, normally, so we will how do you this? Okay, if you are anything, right, anything, if you are doing, there will be risk attached to it. For
Yeah,
example, if you
exactly.
just consider, if you are going for a picnic, 1 day picnic, so that also has a risk. For example, you will have to climb a big mountain, maybe. Okay, there is a very narrow road and you will have to go there. So then the risk is you might get tired in the middle of your journey. That is a risk. Okay, so for that risk, normally you will have to have a risk mitigation plan.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you are getting tired, then you should think that okay, I should have something like glucose, chocolate, or something, water, to carry with me to mitigate that. That is a mitigation, risk mitigation. If you just relate it to the normal life. Okay, so sometimes there will be a risk which has to be accepted. So, for example, if you are going, so then you think that there might be a big rock rolling down from the top of the hill. Now, this
Yeah.
is a risk. This you have to accept. You cannot do anything for it. You cannot
Exactly.
plan, mitigate, or anything for it, because it something happened suddenly. So it's a very rare case. But if it happens, you have accepted this. You are going, so you are accepting that if this happens, I cannot do anything. So that is an accepted risk. Okay, and I'll just summarize on the risk, whatever we're just speaking about. So normally, okay, I was just mentioning you, I mean, real examples and all, but I'll just relate to how it happens in the real project management. Okay, in the project management, so we as in project managers just go through the project and think about foresee what are the different problems we can arise. For example, we were doing a project, I think in the last 2 years, like 2 years back, the COVID has come suddenly. That was an risk. Okay, when the COVID has started, the whoever the employees are started affected, and they were getting ill and all that. So that is a risk. So that is a risk which we'll have to what you will have to capture. We'll have a risk register where we will analyze all the risks, whichever possible risk which we will anticipate. Right, all those things we will document it, and then we will do the risk meeting actually. So where will the project managers and the team will sit together and try to figure out, okay, if this happens, what should I do? Okay, if I have a, for example, if I have a 10 UI developers which I required for my development. So okay, now it's a COVID. If I think, okay, if two developers got COVID, then what will have to do? Whether, so now my mitigation plan will come. So I will think, okay, I'll have to have two more developer additionally, ready for the project when, if in case this we were affected, we can utilize them. That is one. Or we can think of, okay, we can stretch the project. We cannot get a new resource, maybe we will have to stretch the project. All those things, risk will be mitigated. Or someone will accept the risk, saying that, okay, I have the two resources which are working in other project, we will give you if in case your resources are not available. So that is the way we'll have planned that risk. Risk will be into different stages, and we'll keep monitoring them periodically. So we'll have a periodic risk management call where we'll be monitoring it and updating the mitigation plan. And if something is all closed, we'll be closing them. That's how it will be now.
How do
Being
you
project manager, you will take the complete decision, or you'll discuss with your teammates or people and take the decision. How it will go?
For which, for risk or for
Risk,
which
risk.
is the for
Any risk? Example,
for
COVID you
risk
took.
correct. So we will discuss with the team also to get the risk. First thing is we'll have to find out the risk, right? To find
Yeah.
out the risk, that we'll have to discuss with the team and figure out what are the possible risks they anticipate. So it is not only developers, everybody in the team is like a contributor. So for the risk, because everyone can think different scenarios which can go wrong. So then once we get the risk, what you say, risk uh, documented, then we will discuss who is the right person to give the mitigation plan or whatever to that thing. So but it will be, normally it will be known to the team, it will be registered in a particular place. Normally project related things will be shared with the team. So if there is something very different, that will be only project manager will be knows. But normal risk will be, project delivery risk will be shared with the team as well, to get their input also.
Okay. Cool.
how do you plan and execute the procurement activities for the project, and what are the phases of procurement, and how do you select and manage the vendors and contracts?
Okay. So procurement activities, normally project manager himself will not involved into the procurement. There will be a normally a procurement team. So if, for example, if we read a service, we will raise a request to the particular team. So they will be managing the procurement. Similarly, if you need a resources, we will be raising the resource requirement to the HR team. So they will be managing the hiring and all, and then providing us. They will have some lead time to do that. Normally, that's how it works. Normally, project managers will not be involved in procuring things, in at least in the IT industry, what I see.
So, like in procurement, if like you are already working with some vendor, so a new
Hmm.
guy has come into the market, so he wants to uh, expand his business. So he wants to give it
Hmm.
for you at a better price. So if it is also the budget planning is done by a project manager. So about procurement, how could you go on like depend on the other procurement teams, or if you have some selection criteria for it, if you're getting it for a better price, better deal.
Yeah. So again, that every company, right? They will have an what do you say? register already having the contract. So normally when there is a project like this will be common if it's an IT project. So we will have a service vendors maybe, whoever who will work for us, right? So then we will have maybe for the laptops or whatever required. So we will have all Dell, HP, all those known persons already having the contract, because the contract will be already in place. So they will already having a contract, contractual rates with the particular company based on the volume what we purchase. It is not like one project will go for the purchase, right? So those rates are already defined. So when we will have to, when we go for the procurement, when they decide, okay, this particular configuration machine or this particular technology, who is the providing them in a better rates. So that is a continuous process that's keep going on. It will not normally go for, I mean, if it is very different requirement, then it will go. Otherwise, it will be common process already in place, and they will rates are already agreed. So we just have to utilize that service based on that contract.
So how do you
For
ensure
how
the
many years or period of time that contract will be there? Is it fixed or how it will be? You can break it
Uh,
anytime.
it depends. A contract can be, there is a time period. Sometime you will hear, right? So I mean, some big companies got a 5-year contract, 10-year contract, or what, that will be the, I mean, it based on the client. Okay, they might give they might looking for a 5-year or like looking for a 10-year contract. Then the rates will be different. If the based on the period, the rates will be different. And after the even the contract is closure date, reach the closure date, right? Then the renewal process will happen. That also might go on for a year. It is not like any particular year, so it depends.
how do you ensure the quality of the project? What are the standards and metrics you use to measure and improve the quality of the project deliverables and processes?
Okay, so when it comes to the quality, so every company, I think you might have heard of different quality standards they were qualified, like CMMN level 5, 3, 4, all those things. All these quality things will come with some guidelines. So for each of these quality things, there will be a quality team involved in the each of the projects. So apart from the project, there will be another project quality team. They will be having a periodic meeting with the project manager to see that they are adhere to all the quality rules, quality whatever standards. Okay, so the standards will differ based on the company's certified for which level. If it is CMM level 5, there will be different standards. So that is different standards set for the things. So based on that, for example, if you the quality is not for, you can think of quality is for everything. Quality is for even the process, right? How you have to manage a project. For that also there is a quality, okay? Quality added for how you make a delivery, right? So what is the quality of delivery? For that also there is a different quality guidelines for it. For each of the things have a different quality process, and it is completely kind of audited by um, different quality team. That's how it goes normally.
To be an project manager, is it necessary to work in as an IT professional to know the different technologies and be a project manager, or as a fresher we can join as a junior project manager or just a project manager in a company for IT field?
Yeah, they're both the way. So I mean, the manager, there are two, right? You might be a people manager. If you are a people manager, then you need more. You don't need a technical. You don't need to be a technical. You need more kind of an MBA. MBA might be a useful thing, okay, if it's a people manager. So the project management policies are irrespective of the technology. Okay, so those are the standard guidelines what to be followed for any of the projects. It is not only anything specific to the IT project. But when it comes to the IT project, if you are a technical person, it will help you to understand what the team is really doing. So otherwise, you will not understand a lot of things if you are not a technical person. That
Thank
that is almost a good. Yeah.
thank you for your precious time and for the interview.